And Gerard Way. How are you, fella?
Great, how you doing?
Oh, not too bad, thanks. Last time I spoke to you was bloody years ago. It must be, I don't know, at least 4, I think, in Wolverhampton. And we were chatting just before you were going on stage, I think.
Wow, yeah, that's a long time ago, Wolverhampton.
How have you been since? I know you've been a busy man, you got married, you know, you've had a wonderful daughter. You've been enjoying life?
I have, yeah. It's been amazing. We came off the road because we toured like 2.5 years of Black Parade, and then came off the road and really just lived for a while, which is really important for us to do, and then got back into the studio, which was obviously a time-consuming process. It's done, and we're extremely excited.
What's the feeling like for you this time around? Are, you know, emotions running high? Because it was like, you know, as you say, years ago that you last put a record out. It must be quite an exciting period for you.
Oh, yeah. I mean, it's actually, you know, it's almost like the best part about what's happening right now is like you know, obviously when something kind of gets taken away from you, being in this kind of stasis when we were trying to make the album desperately and then we had to scrap it and start over, like, that kind of feels like something, you know, is taken away from you. And so you have to really fight to get that back. And then, so now it feels like we can really start living again and like we can start out the other part of our lives. And I mean, it's just like a big victory right now. We're very excited. It feels better than it ever did, you know.
Nice. Now, I've just checked out the video trailer to the new album, Danger Days, The True Lives of the Fabulous Killjoys. I mean, man, that thing is awesome. That must give you a buzz just looking at that.
It does. I remember I saw the first edit because we had gone out to the desert and shot all this footage. And then the next morning I had just seen like little snippets of what we had shot. And then the night of the VMAs, I believe, I sat down and we all watched this first edit. And it was extremely like emotional for me because of the journey that it took to even get to the desert. And the desert is somewhere where I wanted us to go for a long time. And it was, you know, and then I had all that imagery in my head when I was writing the song Na Na Na. And then when we had completed it together, the imagery was really there. And then, you know, so it was a very big moment. I think the trailer has that kind of power to it.
Well, it knocked me for 6, because in around about, I think, 70, 80 seconds, something like that, you've got some dude in spandex on roller skates, there's explosions, a beat-up Trans Am, which I think is quite cool, and this is all to the beat of Na Na Na, which I presume is going to be a new song on the record. Yeah,
it's the song that opens the record. The way you hear that trailer and see that trailer, that's actually how the record starts. That's how it kicks off. There's a character named Dr. Deathdefying that leads you into this album and plays you a song, and that's how it goes.
Okay, well, let's hear it. Brand new My Chemical Romance on Kerrang Radio. Track on the new My Chemical Romance record, The True Lives of the Fabulous Killjoys. It's called Na Na Na, and we have My Chemical Romance frontman Gerard Way on the programme tonight. He joins us on the telephone, and I have to say, Gerard, that being an opener to a record, it sucks you right in immediately. Is that kind of the vibe of the whole record? You know, you put it on, you listen to it from start to finish, or can you dip in and dip out?
You know, the really cool thing about this record is, though there are these interstitial bits throughout, like there's not a story to follow, and that's what I actually love about it. So this record you could just turn up really loud and enjoy it in a different way without letting, you know, there's obviously meaning in every song, and I'm speaking very directly to the listener, but there's no story to follow. I think the real story this time was the journey it took to complete the album. You know.
Okay, so you can dip in and out of this record effectively then, you know, just go, I'll go back to that track, I love that one, I want to jump in here, that kind of thing.
Absolutely. I think, it is definitely a record to listen to from start to finish, but I think it's one of those things that you'll find a favorite song kind of every other time you go listen to it.
Yeah. Is it fair to say that the image of My Chemical Romance has had a bit of an overhaul, if you like? You know, gone are the black and white uniforms, and here we are, very colourful. And I know you will have had this put to you before, very comic-like as well.
Yeah, no, it's had a complete overhaul, and it's something that we all really wanted to do. It wasn't a calculated thing, but it was, if anything, it was a rebellion against how we used to look. Yeah, and that to me is at times with the record, if it's rebelling against anything, it's rebelling against ourselves. And but we're very pleased to be incorporating color into our wardrobe.
And what do you think the My Chemical Romance fans will make of this change, this colourful new direction? You know, they've been used to, life and death and sorrow and loss and that kind of emotion. And here you are rebelling against yourselves, effectively. How do you think they'll take it?
Well, I think they'll take it in a really good way, because I feel like the selves that we're rebelling against are the guys that went in to make that previous attempt. It wasn't the guys making revenge or the guys making bullets or parade. We were basically gunning for these guys that had made this attempt at this quote unquote rock record, and what we had ended up with, in my opinion, is something that's far more of a rock album in terms of its spirit, because it does sound like a band that's free and rebelling against something.
Well, I can't wait for it to drop and come out, and I can't wait to be playing singles off it here on the station, here on Kerrang, because we have a very passionate listenership who are just absolutely mad for it. And, I was teasing them yesterday, all the listeners, saying I'll be talking to you, and they're beside themselves just waiting for this interview.
Well, that's awesome. I mean, and, the UK is one of our favorite places in the world to play, and we always like to kick things off there, and it's some of the best fans in the world. So. And
is your hair bright red at the moment?
It is, yeah, and it's interesting because this is the color that my hair actually used to be for most of my life. So a lot of people are used to seeing me with black hair, but that was one phase of my life. From middle school all the way through high school into art school, I'd had this color hair, and I really missed it. I missed it because it felt more like that's kind of what I was about back then, in color and just experiencing art. And I think so I feel like that person a little bit again.
And how are the friends and family enjoying the red hair? They're like, oh, I thought he'd left that behind.
It's actually pretty non-intrusive. In fact, when I'd first done it, both lyn-z and I and Bandit actually just didn't really take much notice of it. It was just kind of there.
Now, you mentioned the art there, which, of course, is obviously a big part of your life. You studied it at college, and, you've written a comic book, I understand. So they're obviously, it's a very important part of what you do. Are you still big into the comic books? I mean, are you collecting them? I
don't really collect anymore, but I definitely pick up things and read comics as I kind of find them. But yeah, I'm really big into comics. I don't collect a terrible amount of them, but I'm always at every San Diego Comic-Con and any other Comic-Con I can go to, and I still write them and I still create them, and that's a part of me that'll never go away. So.
Well, I've heard that comics are actually becoming the new cool, thanks to films like Kick-Ass and whatnot.
Yeah, it's interesting to watch. It's really great for comics, because now when you go to these conventions, they're a very big deal, because a lot of the ideas that you're seeing up on the screen these days are coming from just a guy sitting behind a drawing board, or girl with an idea, and then people like it, and then it's just, next thing you know, you're watching a film of that. So it's awesome.
The geeks are prevailing, I do believe. Gerard, it's been ace to talk to you. We look forward to the new record, The True Lives of the Fabulous Killjoys, coming out in November.
Oh, awesome. Thank you.
Hey, one final quick question. I'm asking this of a lot of people I know that have got married fairly recently, and I'm getting married in December.
Congratulations.
Thank you very much. Do you have any tips, any advice, any hints? Are you enjoying married life? Is it the best thing ever?
It is, absolutely. I don't think there's any tips or hints at all. I think if you're marrying the right person, which I'm sure you are, then you don't need to really know anything. You just enjoy it.
Lovely. Thank you, Gerard. Take care of yourself.
Thank you, you too.
All right, see you later, dude.
Okay, bye-bye.
There he goes, Gerard Way, and his sage-like advice. Look out for their new record, The True Lives of the Fabulous Killjoys, coming out in November, and there's a tour as well here in the UK.